I'm Yvonne Sneed, and I'm a near-death experiencer. I've had 2 near-death experiences. I'm very active with IANDS, which stands for the International Associations of Near-Death Studies, which we have. I always like to make them feel uncomfortable. I have Robert Mace and Suzanne Mace, who are actually on the board of IANDS. And I'm active. I'm the leader of the IANDS group for the Raleigh area. We have 2 groups, one in Raleigh and one in Durham. A little bit more about myself. I've done a documentary about 1.5 years ago on the near-death experiences after effects. And that documentary is actually called Back from the Light. So you can go on backfromthelight.com and you can order it there, or on Vimeo. You can rent it if you don't want to buy it. We have it as a rental on Vimeo as well. So Back from the Light. We all go through different type of situations that we don't even realize are actually stressful situations anymore because we're so used to it. So when you come out of that body, suddenly all that stops and it's peace, and every negativity is out and non-existent anymore. It's a tremendous difference. You go from a chaotic, busy lifestyle to just peace and joy and freedom. The mind is free, the spirit is free. We are free beings. There's no attachment to this earth anymore. We just evolved to that wonderful place. Thank you so much. I'm introducing to you Nora Gottlieb. Okay. And Nora will share her own near-death experience. So thank you, Nora. Okay.
My near-death experience occurred about 1964 in Raleigh, North Carolina, near a private horse barn in a riding class. I am Nora Willis Gottlieb. I have always loved riding horses, and in the spring of 1964, I was late for a riding class. By the time I was seated on a new and, to me, Arabian horse, the class had started. It was a little too far back. I was a little too far back in the saddle and not quite in the correct forward hunt seat position. As I was trying to get better balanced, the class was passing me by at a canter in the ring. My horse must have said to himself, "Oh, this is what we're trying to do." So I wasn't ready for a gallop, but he was. We tried to catch up with others, and I was slung off the horse and landed with my head and shoulders under the bottom board of the fence. Fortunately, not on top of the board. I went out, and I was trying to figure out where I was. I finally realized I was in a dark place, and I thought to myself, "Oh, this is what it's like to die." Then a great rush of feeling of peace and acceptance and fantastic love was coming to me. And I thought, oh, it's not so bad after all. We each are given what we need at that particular time in our life. And when I've listened to some of these conferences, people and other people that I've known, it's amazing how absolutely individual it is. It is not a cookie-cutter experience, not at all.
I'd like to introduce you to my friend as well, Sandy Briggs. Sandy has written 3 books. 2 are mentioned here because the other one is just brand new. The first one was A God Experience in the Light, which talks about her near-death experience. The second one is Merging with Socrates and Pre-Birth Memories, which actually talk about pre-birth memories. Sandy remembers memories before her birth, not in this life, but really what we call in heaven. So she has written a book, and there's a 3rd book that came out.
Shine the Light.
Shine the Light. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I had a near-death experience in 1984, and at that time I never heard of these experiences. I didn't know what it was, but my experience happened because I was depressed, severely depressed for a long time, and I couldn't get myself out of it. I mean, I would try and try, just as I would start to feel better, something would happen in my life and just pulled the rug out from under me again. So this happened so many times, I just gave up, and I prayed to God with all my heart. I didn't want to live another day. But I found myself when I woke up, and I was in the light. And I'm trying to figure out, where am I, because this isn't, I thought I'd be in bed, waking up in the middle of the night, but in the pitch dark, but I was in the light. And I was on my knees, and as I was looking up, there was 2 doors right in front of me that push open, and as soon as I was looking straight ahead, all of a sudden I was up, right? I don't even know how I got from my knees to be standing, and there is an opening in each of the doors. And as I looked through the doors, on the other side of the doors was God the Father. And just as soon as I saw, I was just bursting. It just so overwhelming joy and bliss. There's no words to express that. But the doors opened up, and then the most beautiful music, I don't even know how to compare it. There, any music on earth, it just doesn't compare to that. It was just this perfect music. It just blended so well. And all I wanted to do, I was like this since I was a little girl, I just wanted to hug God. I don't know. I never thought that would be possible, or at least not until I died. But God looked at me, and he nodded his head, and he held out his arms to me. And I didn't even think. I just went right over, and I leapt into his arms, and he held me. And I don't know how to describe that joy, that love. It's just so penetrating, and I feel so secured. There's nothing can harm you. Everything's perfect. But after I had this experience, I didn't really know if God really existed or not. I had my doubts, but now I have no doubts. Absolutely, God exists. But the things I learned through my experience, I would compare with what I learned through religion, because when I got married and had my first child, I wanted him raised in the church, and so I became very involved with church then. And I became a Sunday school teacher, and just evolved with the church, and I put my whole heart into it. But after this experience happened, it changed the way I feel, and I see so many things that are done in religion that are misunderstandings, and a lot of people are sort of brainwashed, manipulated to think this is what God wants, and all these wars done in the name of God, all that stuff was wrong. And because everything I learned, it's all about love. And if you're not following love, then that's not the path to God.
I would love to introduce you to my friend Stephen. Stephen is also part of IANS, a member of IANS. We all are. So happy that IANS exists and that we are here in the headquarters, so it was just even better. Stephen had an accident when you were 21 years old.
Okay.
Go ahead, tell your story.
Okay. In the bio that was published, it said that I had a near-death experience following a head-on collision. Well, there's a slight change to that. On December the 18th, 1965, in a 1962 Austin Hilly Sprite, I decided, or my car decided, to go straight through a curve, run into a stone wall and a telephone pole, driver's side the vehicle. When they came and they found me, I was curled up in the car with my head underneath the dash in front of the shift lever, and I still had my 6-inch web belt on, and the roll bar, which I'd installed in the car, had been ripped loose. My experience, well, when I went clinical, I left my body. I went into my mother's dreams and told her I was leaving. Then I went counterclockwise around the earth and shot into what's called the tunnel. Now, sorry. If you notice the picture, those 2 pictures there, they come from 2001, A Space Odyssey. which is very unique and very germane to my experience. Because at that point that I left my body and went into, quote, the tunnel, I was doing what's on the left. I was going through these bands of multicolored light very rapidly. When I was on the other side, I didn't have a life review because I was provided with all of the knowledge of my life and in my every life I've ever had, all instantaneously.
But the beauty of heaven is that there are many roads. We come here to learn a specific thing, but the way we learn it, we still have the choice by what we decide to do on earth. We will still end up learning it. But it's like you see a thousand possibility according to what you will choose. So it's a much better news than thinking I have my one mission and if I miss it, I've not, we have a sense of purpose every day.